Hey everybody, this is Kristin Shaw with Airport Improvement Show and Tell, and today I'm excited to have Mark and John here from Gateway. They are an authorized reseller of eezeetags. Did I get that right, Mark?
Yes, we are the authorized exclusive reseller in North America for eezeetag. But very close, Kristin.
Thank you. I would love it if both of you would introduce yourself today.
Sure. My name is Mark Spivey. Our company, Gateway Business Communications, located in Middletown, Connecticut. And we have been involved in supplying the airport and airline industry with consumable printed products for over the last 30 years. And we got involved with eezeetag. We saw the benefits of the product about 6 years ago with Bori Vreeling, who's the founder of eezeetag, and we became the exclusive U.S. North American distributor in the last 5 years. And we're excited to talk to you today, Kristin, and tell you more about our product, our company, and hear more about what was happening in airports and airlines.
Great. John, tell us a little bit about you.
I'm John Sikorsky. I've been in the business since 1974. Been servicing airlines over 30 years, going back to Virgin Atlantic when they moved from New York to Connecticut. It was my first airline client. eezeetags is a phenomenal product. We have over 55 airports and 35 airlines globally, and we represent eezeetags in the Americas.
Excellent. Tell our viewers a little bit about what is going on and what's been going on in the last year and how you and airports, your clients, have been reacting.
Mark, if you want to take this, be my guest.
Sure, I'll start. Yeah, well, as everybody knows, last March, the world changed for everybody, not only airlines and airports, but everything changed. And I just a quick story. I was at with one of our clients for eezeetag Hawaiian about a year ago in March. We were just implementing our product for them, and we got the news that everything was shutting down. And I was at the airport that day, and it was really sad to see people turning away where they had trips planned to go to Disneyland or wherever they were going. Everything just changed that day. And of course, everything came to a complete standstill. No one was flying. It was pretty scary, I think, for everybody that's involved in the industry. But anyway, we've started to see light at the end of the tunnel. I think everybody seems to have made it through. The airlines, the airports, with support from the federal government, have been able to stay afloat, and it looks like everything is changing again back to a positive. Leisure travel seems to be up tremendously, and we're seeing that. We're getting a lot of inquiries for our product, and we're really excited about it. So it's been a complete turnaround for the year. So that's kind of what we've seen. And with what happened with the pandemic, we're starting to see airports looking at things a lot differently, and the same with airlines. Self-service, touchless check-in seem to really be hot topics for the industry. With the pandemic, it seems to being able to speed that up, where people are looking to implement that. I think before the pandemic, there was a lot of talk about self-check-in, self-service, doing more with less people, getting more people through the infrastructure that we had, trying to find ways to do that. And everybody was looking at technology. You're looking at the biometrics, self bag drop. Everybody was kind of just looking at it. I think with the pandemic, things have really been fast forwarded. It's being implemented now. The airlines and airports are seeing, hey, you know what? We have to do more with less people. Let's try to use technology for that, get more productive. And then they're looking at the passenger is looking at, hey, we want to be in less contact with people. We want to be able to do things ourselves at the airport and move through quicker, have less touch points. So I think that's kind of what I've noticed and seen. I think probably everybody has seen that it's really moving at a much faster pace now that we're coming out of the pandemic. So that's kind of what we're seeing. I mean, for our company itself and our product, we're like the last link in that chain of self-service. The eezeetag really helps people check in their bag a lot quicker and a lot easier. So that's kind of what we've seen. So
okay,
thank you for asking.
Great. John, tell me a little bit about what eezeetags does and why you think that it works well for airports.
Well, first of all, especially now with the pandemic, there's no trash on the floor, nothing to peel off in the back. So since people want touchless, all they got to do is put the two dots together and that's it. Take the bag and check it in. That's number one. It's 100% BPA free, which is very important in the world we live in today. And I see it as a product that's just going to simplify things, make it easier for the airlines, better deploy their staff. And on average, you're going to save approximately 20 seconds per passenger when checking in, which, you know, you look at that over a year's time with millions of passengers. That's a lot of savings in time and money.
All right, so Mark, tell me, if I were someone who'd never seen this product before, explain to me how it works.
Sure, Kristin, I'd love to tell you that. So normally, you know, passenger, you know, wants to come in and check their bag. You know, they're going to check in at a kiosk, which everybody's becoming familiar with right now. And what we're finding with airlines and airports is instead of having to go to a separate station and get a bag tag printed out, the kiosk is going to do it. And the passenger yourself is going to need to put the tag on your bag. Traditionally, airline bag tags were a product that had a traditional pressure sensitive label, and you'd have to look at the back and figure out how to peel a liner off and try to get it put together. And with many hours of experience in the airports watching people, it's a tricky process. So eezeetag was born to make it easier. And what John was saying is there's no liner to peel. Here's an actual tag, no liner to peel. Tag comes out printed. The passenger looks at the one photo on the back, shows two dots put together. You put it through the baggage handle. You just put it together, rub it, and that's it. Your tag is ready to go and your bag is ready to get onto the conveyor and down the line. So like as John had mentioned, typical passenger will save 20 seconds. That is what we found. There's no waste. There's no liner that's on the floor. You know, person peeled it off and now there's nowhere to put it. So it gets dropped on the floor. It's messy. This is very simple. And that's hence the name eezeetag, very easy.
And tell me, how does it stick then if it doesn't have a peel off backing, which I know I struggled so many times to like get the pieces just right so it didn't stick to something else. How does it stick together then?
Well, Chris, there's a little bit of magic with that. There's a special adhesive called a co-adhesive that this tag won't stick to anything but itself. I could try sticking it on myself. You could try sticking it to anything. It won't stick to your suitcase. But when the two pieces come together, it creates a bond. And that's how it works. There's nothing else to it. There's a special adhesive called the co-adhesive that puts it together. And it's been tested. It meets all IATA regulation. And that's how it works. So there's a little bit of magic in there, but pretty simple. So
is there pixie dust in that thing somewhere?
I don't know. We have to talk to Corey. We'd have to talk to Corey Grilling. He's the creator. So
that's great. Okay, now I understand. That makes a lot of sense. I haven't seen that yet. So John, tell me, you know, when I first started in the industry, I worked with CETA. And common use, you know, 15 years ago was the thing people kept talking about, but nobody in North America really wanted to adopt it. They wanted their own space, you know. So are you seeing changes in that trend now?
Absolutely. We have numerous projects right now in the works with airports for common use. In the past, like you mentioned, all the airports wanted their own, the airlines, I'm sorry, wanted their own space. Now the airports are starting to take that space back, putting in common use equipment. And they want easy tags. Makes it so simple. If they've got 5 or 6 airlines sharing that space, they don't want to have multiple tags. They don't want to have residue all over the floor and trash. With an easy tag, we design it so it's a generic tag for common use, and the airlines love it. They just download their app, print it out, customer gets it, puts it together, and they're off.
How easy is it for an airline to replace the paper once it's out?
No different than a traditional. The kiosk will signal them that there's a low stock on the roll, and their people who work at the airport just go and replace it.
Okay, so they don't need a special technician or anything like that to replace it.
Nope.
Okay. And tell me what's the uptake on easy tags like this? Like what kind of market share are you seeing? Are you seeing a lot more airports picking it up and really showing interest?
US, we're starting to see a lot of interest. Coming, as Mark mentioned before, coming out of COVID, people are starting to look at things totally differently. They have less staff to have around. They want to do something more efficient. Now, go ahead, Mark, I'll let you expand on that.
Yeah. I mean, I think pre-COVID, we were looking at worldwide, probably 100 million tags that we had, people had used for easy tag. And that's a very small portion of bag tags. But we're really seeing, I mean, North America and international, a very big interest and upswing on usage. So it's kind of hard right now to gauge where we're going to end up, but we're seeing, like as John had mentioned, we've got a bunch of projects in the works, some really large international airports, some of the largest in the world are moving to easy tag exclusively. So that's international. So we're really seeing a lot of demand. So we're excited.
And what do you think is coming next? So we saw the touchless trend coming before the pandemic, right? And now it's really starting to pick up because of the pandemic, and people want touchless more than ever. So what do you think is coming next?
First thing is going to be self-bag drop. Right now in the US, it's a 2-step. The manufacturers of the bag drop and the airlines would love to see a 1-step like you have in Europe, where you don't even have to go to a kiosk to print your bag tag. You just take your bag up, the bag drop, have it weighed, scanned, prints out your bag tag, and you go. So that's coming in the future, but we're seeing 2-step starting right now.
Yeah. And when John means 2-step, you've got a kiosk you go to first, you check in, you print out your bag tag, put it on, and you have to bring it over to an attendant usually, who will check your ID again and then put the bag on the conveyor. So we think the next thing that, like as John mentioned, in Europe they're doing, it's a 1-step bag drop, where that bag drop machine actually, you go up, you'll scan, you probably have a boarding pass on your phone, you'll scan it. You'll already be checked in on your device, so you won't really need to check in at a kiosk. You'll scan a QR code or just put in your confirmation number onto the bag drop, and that'll print out the bag tag, and you'll just put it on the conveyor yourself. And so we see that, and I think the other thing that we see probably is biometrics will probably come into play a lot faster than it was in the past. So those are the 2 trends I think we see.
John, what is the silver lining from the last year in terms of learnings and opportunity for change?
I think that the pandemic, as bad as it was, it gave the airlines and the airports an opportunity to reimagine themselves and take a look at how they can be more efficient, realizing going into the 22nd century that this is a great product for them. It's going to really help them go forward.
What do you think, Mark?
Exactly. I think John hit it on the head. Yeah, I think it's allowed everybody in the U.S., at least North America, to really reimagine how they're going to interact with passengers, how we're going to, with the projections that were being made before pre-pandemic of the number of people traveling. And I think there was not a concern, but just how are we going to handle all these passengers with the current infrastructure? And I think with the pandemic, everybody took a step back, and and I guess the general public as well is starting to become more used to automation and self-service, ordering groceries, ordering everything through their phone, that it's going to really, I think, move things quicker. People are going to accept it quicker. And I think that's probably one of the positives that came out of all of it was, hey, we're going to move quicker. We're going to really, use technology to speed things up. So.
John, what do you think is the key to implementation or successful implementation at an airport to help passengers do this the right way?
Partnership between the manufacturers, the kiosks and the bag drop machines, the printer companies, and ourselves, working with the technical people at the airports, at the airlines, to make it all work. Everybody has to work as a team so we can make sure that everything goes perfectly smooth for them.
Mark, what do you think?
I think it's the same thing. I think it's everybody working together as partners, the different technologies really, understanding each other, whether it's, the biometrics, whether it's, the printers, the kiosks, the bag drop manufacturers, and then as well as, the TSA, really, getting on board with some of these self-service technologies and really utilizing technology the best that they can. So I think if all of that comes together, I think things will move pretty quickly.
Okay, last question. Which airport is really doing a great job with self-service and check-in?
That's hard to say. I mean, I don't want to pick any favorites, but I think they all, from what we've seen, they all are. I mean, I just think that all the major, even some of the smaller regionals, I think are really jumping on and doing it. I know, there's been a lot of construction projects over the last few years on the infrastructure side, but I think on the technology side, I think they're all really looking at it. So I really couldn't pick one, but we've been working with at least, a half a dozen to a dozen right now that are really trying to move forward. So.
Excellent. Well, I really appreciate both of you talking to me today. I'm looking forward to getting back out on the road myself soon and seeing these for myself.
Great. We will hope you'll see an eezeetag at an airport near you soon. And Kristin, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks to both of you.